So what does AXS really stand for? It's not an acronym as far as I can tell, but it rather stands for Access. Think everything that's wireless on a bike, where ETAP is road only, Eagle means mountain, and let's throw the dropper RockShox Reverb AXS in there as well. Somewhere in between, you also have the option to pair everything with your Garmin, Wahoo or Hammerhead device through an app, of course, on your smartphone. Connect the Quark power meter for good measure, and you can get detailed ride reports that you can study on your smartphone or on your computer. But I don't need distractions, I just want flawless shifting and have fun out there on the trails. So, in this video, I will only focus on the AXS Eagle drivetrains. All AXS Eagle drivetrain function in the same way, but are made from different materials and have a slightly different design. The XX1 drivetrain is cross-country focused, made with the lightest weight materials available. X01 is enduro focused, that is made more robust than the XX1. The cage is shorter for better ground clearance, it sits further forward for more chain wrap, and is also tucked inwards to minimize the risk of hits with other objects. GX Eagle AXS was introduced about a year ago, and that was a big thing in the bike industry. A price well below the other two drivetrains, wireless shifting was suddenly within reach for a broader audience. I have ridden and tested all three versions, where the X01 and the GX drivetrains were fitted to EMTBs and the XX1 drivetrain was fitted to a downcountry bike. From a functional standpoint, they're all very similar. They've all got basically the same shifter or rocker paddle, as SRAM calls it, and have the same level of customization through the smartphone app. The shifting action is very similar on all three drivetrains too, so from that perspective you don't need to go for the pricier options. The differences between the XX1, X01 and the GX really are the same as with their mechanical counterparts. The electronic parts are the same. Weight and durability are probably the reasons for why they differ so much in cost. In this list I have compiled some numbers from real-world measurements, but they are from various sources, so take this list with a big pinch of salt. At least it should tell that the XX1 and the X01 are almost 300 grams lighter in total than the GX version. The GX cassette and derailleur add about 160 to 180 grams to the unsuspended weight. Compared to the regular group sets, the differences in weight are very minor. Durability is a factor to consider too, with the XX1 and the X01 cassettes and chains seem to last for a very long time, even in challenging conditions. Since most SRAM components are compatible to each other, I have seen some AXS fitted bikes that come with the NX cassette. But there is probably where I would draw the line. The NX cassette shifts okay, but it adds plenty of weight, it's made of cheese, and it simply doesn't belong at this price point. You can buy a complete group set with cranks and everything, but I guess most mountain bikers would go for an upgrade kit to convert a regular drivetrain to a wireless one. For simplicity, I will only compare the upgrade kits. The prices here in Europe vary a lot, so look at this chart as ballpark figures. All I can say is that it pays off to take the time to shop around. There are upgrade kits that include cassettes, but the ones that I've listed here don't. The XX1 or X01 AXS upgrade kits cost around 900 to 950 euros. That's 600 euros more than to buy a regular derailleur and shifter. If you're upgrading your GX drivetrain, that withdraws around 550 euros from your bank account. It is hard to believe, but there has been a price drop for these upgrade kits, and as mentioned, it's worth to shop around. I found a X01 AXS upgrade kit for 640 euros that actually was in stock at an online store, where most other stores sold it for around 850 to 900 euros. So if you're not a weight weenie, you can save a lot of money by choosing the GX AXS system. The whole group set on this particular bike cost almost 2,000 euros, and that is of course a whole lot of money to spend. The problem here is that SRAM really don't have any competitors, and until that happens I don't think we'll see any significant drop in the prices. There are far more pros than cons by choosing SRAM AXS drivetrains over conventional drivetrains. First of all, it's very easy to install. It's like a set and forget system. You really only need to set the endpoints, and the rest of the setup is made through an app or through the shifter controller on the handlebar. The derailleur is very sturdy and can take a few hits, and it's also got a protection if you hit something. In cold weather, wires tend to freeze up, but when I tested the AXS GX drivetrain in 10 degrees below zero, it still shifted flawlessly. With the previous controller there were only these two buttons that you could use, but now they added another part here, which makes it a little bit more ergonomical. You can through an app set what is a upshift and a downshift, and it seems as if everyone is changing the default settings. One thing that is great that you cannot do on a regular shifter is that you can do micro adjustments between each gear. And you can do this just by pressing the AXS button and push up or down to make the indexing and the shifting between each gear absolutely perfect. This particular controller is mounted together with the brake handle. There is also a separate mount for the AXS controller if you think that's a better option. And there are some adjustment possibilities of course, so that you can move this controller up and down in relation to the brake lever. The only cons that I can think of is the price of course, and maybe that you need to charge your battery. The battery lasts for a very long time however. On my latest test bike that I had for over a month, I never charged it once and there were still many shifts left. The battery in the shifter however is not rechargeable and needs to be replaced every 2 years. Most reviewers says that this system is absolutely great, but a little bit pricey, and I agree with them. But another thing that some reviewers say is that you can shift under load, and I'm a little bit hesitant to do that on a 2,000 euro shifting system. Quick and it shifts accurate, so in theory I think they're right, but I think you should shift as you do on a normal system. It doesn't sound very nice when you shift on a load. So, is this something I could recommend? And the answer to that is yes. I would go for the GX drivetrain though, because that costs a lot less and I'm not a weight weenie, so I don't need that fancy XX1 drivetrain over there. So, should you upgrade to wireless shifters? No, it's way too expensive for what it is, and conventional drivetrains work so well anyway. But if you have all the money in the world, why not? Go ahead. The only way I would own a wireless shifting system would be if the bike came with it from factory. You know, in like a good overall deal together with other great components. So, that was it for me. I'll see you in the next video.